This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Monday, May the 5th. I'm Irene Caselli.
And I'm Jacob Shropshire. It's supper time in Seoul, while those in Barbados are just getting up for breakfast. Here in the World Crunch newsroom in Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Zelensky says ceasefire is possible, quote, at any moment. Trump says he will reopen Alcatraz and impose 100% tariffs on foreign films. And our daily quiz question is on the end of an internet era. Israel's security cabinet has approved a plan to expand its military offensive against Hamas in Gaza to the point of seizing the entire enclave and holding its territories, an Israeli official said on Monday. The Israeli Defense Force, or IDF, said it was calling up tens of thousands of reservists in an attempt to return hostages held in Gaza and defeat Hamas. But critics say that the most recent offensive has failed to free the remaining hostages. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised a multi-phased response to Yemen's Houthi rebels after a missile strike hit near Israel's main airport in Tel Aviv and injured 6 on Sunday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that a ceasefire with Russia was possible, quote, at any moment in the more than 3-year conflict. Speaking at a press conference in Prague, Zelensky urged Kyiv's allies to apply increased pressure on Moscow. Meanwhile, in a documentary interview, Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his hope that nuclear weapons will not be required in the war in Ukraine, and that the invasion would come to a, quote, logical conclusion with the outcome Russia requires. The comments from the two leaders came after U.S. President Donald Trump said in an interview that aired Sunday that peace negotiations were being held up by one side, but he declined to specify whether Russia or Ukraine was stalling an agreement. President Trump said in a Truth Social post on Sunday that he was directing the agency in charge of prisons in the United States to rebuild and reopen the Alcatraz prison in the San Francisco Bay. Also on Truth Social, Trump announced 100% tariffs on movies produced outside of the country. The enforcement mechanism and what criteria would qualify a film to be tariffed remain unclear. In Romania, nationalist George Simion has won the first round of the presidential election rerun with about 41% of the vote. Voters returned to the polls on Sunday, just months after the country's presidential election was annulled over allegations of campaign fraud and Russian interference. Simion's support was especially strong in the country's diaspora, as he secured more than 70% of votes in Italy, Spain, and Germany, where Romanians largely do blue-collar work. For today's More Than a Minute feature, we're taking a look at the latest science about the ways the brain affects productivity. Irene, tell us about how we work, or don't work.
Humans have a tendency to sabotage themselves. We don't exercise enough, drink too much alcohol, pollute the air we breathe. Writing for German weekly Die Zeit, Marie Röwekamp notes that this self-sabotage continues at work, where we too often work inefficiently in so many ways. Neuroscientist Friederike Fabricius has calculated that we could be at least 5 times more productive if we used insights from brain research. Having trained Google and BMW executives on brain-friendly working practices, Fabricius urges us to work with our brain, not against it. It sounds simple, but it is rarely done.
So what should we do to overcome our self-sabotaging habits?
Some tips sound familiar, but they're essentially ways to help out our brain. When we write to-do lists, our brains no longer have to carry around all those tasks. Use the morning, when most people perform best, for quiet, uninterrupted productivity. Take breaks, even micro ones, which improve productivity and mental health, reduce stress and exhaustion, and lower the risk of burnout. Encourage silence in meetings, which allow participants to process what they've heard and prepare their next contribution. Learn discipline, limit multitasking and disruptions.
Fabricius recommends listening to our subconscious.
Overthinking can block good ideas. Sometimes the best ideas come after a nap, while jogging, or in the shower. Other ways to help out the brain. Take full, deep breaths, which studies show can slow the heart rate, lower blood pressure, and activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Ultimately, each person must play to her strengths. Successes activate the brain's reward system, which boosts not only our mood, but also productivity.
We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which comes to us from the end of an internet era. What online platform, popular in the 2010s, is officially shutting down today? Is it A, MySpace, B, Angry Birds, C, OkCupid, or D, Skype? The correct answer is D. After 23 years of service and a peak of more than 300 million monthly users, Skype is shutting down. The platform, founded in 2003 by a group of engineers in Tallinn, Estonia, was one of the first to introduce free voice and video calls over the internet. Microsoft, which bought Skype in 2011, said in February that it would be retiring the platform to prioritize its primary calling platform, Teams.
That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press, delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. Buona giornata.